Hi everyone, welcome to another story time with Miss Oropeza. Today we're going to be reading Getting to Know the World's Greatest Artists, written and illustrated by Mike Benisia. This one is based on Diego Rivera. Diego Rivera thought it was important to make paintings for everyday working people to enjoy. He hoped his art would teach people about their past and give them hope for the future. To make it easier for lots of people to see his artwork, Diego Rivera painted huge pictures called murals on the walls of schools, churches, hospitals, hotels, and government buildings. Diego usually painted on wet plaster with watercolors, a technique known as fresco painting. Diego was a great storyteller. His paintings usually tell a story about the history of Mexico, or people at work, or how something is made. In the making of a fresco, Diego showed himself and his assistants painting a mural. He also showed sculptors and engineers and architects planning new buildings. Some people became upset when they saw that Diego had painted himself with his backside to them. They thought he was being rude. Diego Rivera often upset people with his work. Diego Rivera was born in 1886 in the Mexican town of Guanajuato. He always had a wonderful imagination. When he was very young, he spent lots of time in the Mexican forest with his pet goat. He said he made friends with all the animals there, even the dangerous and poisonous ones. Want to play hide and seek today? Nah, let's do something else. Nope, no way. Yeah, hide and seek is scary. It could be dangerous too. You never know what you might run into out there. When he was a little older, Diego started to draw. He particularly loved to draw inventions that he made up in his head and the mechanical parts of toys he took apart. Diego drew on anything he could find, even the walls. This became such a problem that his father decided to cover a whole room for him with canvas in order to save the rest of the house. Am I too late? No, but hurry! He's headed for the dining room. When he was 10 years old, Diego decided he wanted to become an artist. Because he was an excellent student and very stubborn once he made up his mind, his parents sent him to the famous San Carlos Art Academy in Mexico City. Diego's teachers taught him to draw and paint. They also taught him all the important things they had learned from the great artists of Spain, France, and Italy. Diego said he learned about the art of his own country from a teacher he found all by himself. Jose Posada owned a small printing shop near the academy. Diego would often stop by to watch Posada make his drawings and prints. Diego had never seen anything like Posada's pictures of Mexican legends and everyday events. He thought Posada's drawings were so full of energy and life that they might jump off the page at any moment. Hey, Mr. Posada, can I look at some of your drawings today? Sure, Diego. Just give me a second to calm them down. Years later, Diego too would paint scenes of everyday events. While Diego was growing up, Mexico's government wasn't working very well. Few people in Mexico had enough money to be able to enjoy themselves, and hardly anyone knew how to read. Diego saw that many people in Mexico were living almost like slaves. It bothered him very much. In 1907, when Diego was 20, he went to study art in Europe. There, he became friends with artists who were already famous like Pablo Picasso and Amadeo Modigliani. Diego was influenced by these artists. Soon, he started to become known for his own paintings. Some of them look very much like Pablo Picasso's Cubist paintings. Even though Diego Rivera was doing well in Europe, He felt that something was missing from his art. Diego worried that his paintings were being enjoyed only by well-educated people who were wealthy enough to buy them for their homes. He thought that art should be enjoyed by everyone, especially poor working people. While on a trip to Italy, Diego saw frescoes that had been painted hundreds of years earlier. Usually, these were painted on the walls of churches like the one above, so everyone in a town or city could enjoy them. Diego decided he would return to Mexico and make paintings for all the people there to enjoy. When Diego arrived in Mexico, he was asked to paint a large mural for an important school. Diego named the painting Creation. People all over Mexico thought it was wonderful. They loved the beautiful rich colors, the strong solid shapes of the people, and the skillful way Diego had made the painting fit into the space of the building. Diego was soon given more jobs. He worked hard to get away from his European influences and create a style of art that was all his own. He especially wanted to make art that was more Mexican in feeling. Other artists also began painting murals at this time. David Siqueiros and José Clemente Orozco were two other Mexican artists who became famous for their beautiful and powerful works. It seemed like murals were popping up all over Mexico. Would you mind closing your window? I'd like to finish my nose. Diego often painted revolutionary events and the leaders who were fighting to change things in Mexico so people would have more rights and freedom. Some people, though, thought things in Mexico were just fine the way they were. They sometimes became angry at what the mural artists were showing and would throw rocks at the artists and their work. Diego decided to arm himself for protection. Down with Diego! On second thought, let's protest about something else. During the 1930s, Diego Rivera was invited to paint murals in the United States. One of the most famous was called Detroit Industry. Diego painted it on the walls of a large room in the Art Museum in Detroit, Michigan. In one section of Detroit Industry, Diego showed factory workers making steel and engine parts for cars. Diego saw beauty in modern machinery as well as in people. He gave his mural lots of life by making a conveyor belt move through the huge factory almost like a snake. Fire from the open furnace and the giant machines remind some people of Indian gods at an ancient Mexican ceremony. Diego Rivera lived to be 71 years old and had a very exciting life. He and his wife, Frida Kahlo, who was also a famous artist, attracted attention wherever they went. Sometimes people didn't like what Diego showed in his paintings. One of Diego's murals in the United States was torn off the wall after Diego insisted on showing a portrait of a Russian revolutionary leader who was unpopular in America at the time. Diego always painted what he felt was important, no matter what anyone thought. It was especially important to him to show the history and beauty of the Mexican people he loved so much. Most of Diego Rivera's murals are in Mexico, but a few are in the United States. If you get a chance to see one, you'll notice how well it fits into the design of the building. Diego thought a lot about the architecture of a building before starting to paint. Alright, you guys, so hope you enjoyed reading along with me to Diego Rivera. Please stay tuned for more wonderful stories on great artists, written and illustrated by Mike Venezia. And I'll see you soon. Thank you.